Let's talk about sleep and the importance of it. You probably already have an idea of how important sleep is just from it's very popular. So I'm going to add a different perspective to maybe hopefully let this sink in of just how more important it is. So I want you to think of sleep as in the concept, or use an analogy of space, and how in life we all want space. We all need our space. We want to have the big house with a big backyard. We want the open concept. We want space. Why? Because we like to have that freedom to be able to move, or at least have the potential to have that freedom to move. So that's what space affords us. So I want you to think of space when it comes to the human body, okay? Space not just between our cells, between our organs, between all our soft tissues, space throughout the body. So imagine when we wake up in the morning and we're nice and fresh. So we have plenty of space. And then we get out of bed, we take our first few steps, we're upright against gravity, we take on the day, we have our daily stressors, our daily anxieties, just stress in general. So that has a tendency of taking up more of our space. And that comes in the form of compression in our body, the superficial muscles. It starts to create a shape change of our skeletal structure, of our bones. So by the end of the day, when the sun starts to set, then we start to have less space. This is what you typically hear of in the morning. We tend to be taller, and then by the end of the day, we get shorter. That's because we've spent all of our space. We've used it up. So when we go to sleep at night, especially after the sun sets and it gets dark outside, that's our time that we start to prep ourselves so that we can create more space. So the later you go to sleep at night, let's say you go to sleep after 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're already impinging on that potential space creating time period. So that by the time you wake up the next day, you really don't have a lot of extra space that you normally would have. So then you start the next day with less space, and then you add the extra stressors, your daily habitual stressors, and you take up more of that. Can you see how this can add up over time, and how people that are just not happy or are just mean or unkind or disrespectful to others, maybe they just lost their space. And imagine being confined to a corner and you just feel there's no way out. Just how happy would you feel? So maybe this will help you understand, maybe I shouldn't stay up a little bit extra watching that Netflix show, or maybe I should stop scrolling my phones at 11, 11:30. Maybe I should wind down a little bit earlier, and maybe I should play around with this possible analogy that, oh my gosh, I'm taking away my space. So I have no reason to complain about how horrible my life is, or how much suffering I'm experiencing in my life. Poor me, victim mentality. Maybe I'll just work on creating more space.